so that they have equal opportunity when it comes to opportunities. People or organizations have been as effective, if not more. Time to hire also has a significant impact on all other key hiring metrics.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another Tech Times exclusive. Today, we're talking to Sanjoe Jose. He's the CEO of Talview. Sanjoe, welcome.
Hey, Chris. Happy to be here.
Absolutely. It's great. So let's jump straight in. Give us a background on Talview and the inspiration behind it.
Sure. So Talview is a company which I co-founded in 2017. I've been in the HR education tech space for close to 12 years now. And Talview was started with a vision to build a platform which will enable every professional to build the best career for themselves. I grew up in a small village in India. And I think over the last 2 decades of my professional journey, I had to cross a lot of barriers to be where I am today. And I see that across the globe, people have similar barriers because of their background, because of their location, of their demographics, all kind of barriers, and which often come in the way of building the best career for themselves. And at Talview, we are trying to build a platform which will help people cross those barriers so that they have equal opportunity when it comes to opportunities, whether irrespective of where they are or who they are, and hence can build a good career for themselves. So that's really the crux of what Talview does, and that's the inspiration for Talview.
Okay. So I understand that you've recently announced the talent measurement for data-driven hiring decisions. Could you maybe give us a little more information on that, please?
Yeah. So data is key in every aspect of running an organization, right? And especially since the pandemic or in the last 2.5 years, a lot of processes have got digitized, and hiring is one of those processes which have got digitized in a significant fashion. Everybody is working remote or have flexible working style now, and what that means is even organizations are completely digitizing their hiring process. And that is enabling us to generate a lot of data, which should be used for driving better decision making when it comes to talent acquisition. So we wanted to, the entire idea of the study and the analysis in the report itself was to understand how organizations are adopting digitization. How are they capturing the data which is getting generated as a part of this entire digitization process? And how effectively are they using the data for better decision making when it comes to talent acquisition? And what are their challenges? How are they trying to solve them? What's their vision, roadmap? So it was really to understand how digitization and the data generation driven by digitization is being used by organizations for better decision making.
Okay, I see. Well, let's talk a little more about, or a little deeper about Talview as a service or the platform. So, in my research, I seen that you refer to Talview as a plug and play solution. So
Yeah.
what's the advantage that a plug and play solution gives employers as well as anyone else that uses the platform?
Yeah. So Talview is a talent measurement platform. So we help organizations make talent decisions in a quick, confident, and effective manner. And if you look at the current landscape of technology systems used in the talent ecosystem, whether it's applicant tracking system or learning management system, these systems are systems of records which already exist. So most organizations, especially if they're a large enterprise, when we work with them, they already have a SAP system or an Oracle system or a Workday, which is managing their talent which is the system of record for their talent ecosystem. But those systems have limitations. Many of them are primarily focused on workflow management and keeping track of data. But true digitization of processes requires a platform which is capable of communication, a platform which is capable of orchestration, and a platform which is capable of intelligence. So from day one, we were very clear that we do not want to go and replace these systems, but we would sit on top of existing systems which organizations have and help them to adopt digital communication, intelligence, and orchestration in a manner in which they can plug and play our software on top of existing systems and adopt all these capabilities. So that the amount of effort involved in making this transition and also the change management associated with it is minimal, and that has helped us be very successful, I would say, in the first few years itself, in terms of bringing on board some of the largest organizations across the globe, some organizations which operate at significant amount of scale and a lot of business complexity, to help them to embrace digitization in the hiring process in a very scalable manner.
Okay. Yeah. That makes perfect sense. So I also seen that Talview is 100% mobile. So,
That's true. Yeah.
So what was what's the idea behind, okay, we're going to make Talview and we're going to make it 100% mobile?
Yeah, I spoke about our mission at the beginning. Our mission is to build a platform which is enabling everyone to build the best career for themselves. And we saw device as a great leveler. So there are a lot of parts in the world where people do not have access to a desktop or laptop device.
Right.
There are a lot of individuals who, it could be a housewife who has to manage kids, or it could be somebody who is traveling quite a lot on a day-to-day basis as a part of their current work, or has other limitations or accessibility limitations, but they all have access to a mobile device. Even when they're traveling, or if they have accessibility limitation, any form of physical disabilities, the mobile devices we saw is a lot more compatible with the needs of those individuals. And if we can build a platform which is 100% mobile, that also means that we are making this platform accessible for everyone. So that was a very crucial, I would say, element of our design from day one. The other aspect is also about the behavior of the new generation. So I think us, with every generation, we are also focused on instant gratification, and mobile devices are, I would say, a significant part of that. Okay, I want to do this thing on the move. I want to do something and get an instant feedback on that. I don't want to, like, for example, in the hiring process, fill a large application form on a PC or laptop and then wait for somebody to get back to me in 2 weeks. I want to interact with the chatbot, send a few messages, a couple of audio clips, and then hear back from the employer in real time. And that kind of experience is also a lot more seamless in a mobile device compared to a more clunky laptop or desktop device. So it made a lot of sense with our mission because it's a lot more accessible, and it also made a lot of sense for the target audience and the way in which technology adoption is happening in industries today. So for us, it was a no-brainer that when we are building Talview, the platform, it should be mobile first. And I think that has worked very well for us. The kind of feedback which we receive from our users shows that people love to use mobile devices irrespective of whether it's for work or for other consumer applications which they use.
Right. Yeah, I would have to agree 100% with I use my phone for basically everything.
Yeah.
I use my laptop if it's a necessity, but I would much rather use my phone. It's just
I agree. Yeah. Yeah.
So I
think almost every aspect of our consumer life is now on the mobile device, and when we are forced to use a larger device, whether it's a laptop or desktop, for other aspects of our life, it just yeah, there's a lot of inertia.
Right. Yeah. The laptop or the desktop is definitely losing the, I guess we could say, the war on usability. You know, with social or with personal devices like your cell phone, you get, you know, great features like notifications and
Yeah.
those things you don't really get. Apps. Apps aren't really something that I would put on my laptop. I just go to the website. So yeah, I think your insight on going 100% mobile was nothing short of genius at this point. So you discussed the pandemic a minute ago. You mentioned it, and obviously the pandemic has affected the work environment for everyone. I think probably significantly, to say the least. Do you see this trend of flexibility working and video conferencing and things like that? Do you see this continuing and evolving over time, or do you think eventually we will move back to a more office-based system of work?
Yeah. So I think it's a very interesting change which has happened over the past 2-3 years. Originally, when people are thinking of remote work and flexible work, there were a lot of I would say inhibitions which people had in terms of how effective it will be. Will I be able to collaborate effectively online? Will I be able to be productive? So all of those concerns. But I think what the last 2 years have shown is a lot of those inhibitions were misplaced. Those apprehensions were misplaced, and people or organizations have been as effective, if not more, in collaborating and being productive remotely, as or almost as good as being in person. And that has given organizations a lot more confidence to continue to stay remote. A lot of organizations have, if not gone 100% remote, they have um, a structured flexible work policy for all of their employees. And if you look at it from the employee standpoint, many of the surveys say that almost 90% of people prefer to stay remotely if given an option, or would prefer a job where they have a hybrid or flexible work policy. So I think this is definitely here to stay. And it's also in line with larger trends which were in play even before this. Again, technology is what's making all of this possible, right? And technology is a great leveler in many ways, and fueled by the pace at which technology adoption was happening, if you look at employment itself, it was already in a state of evolution. So people are moving to shorter tenures, the so-called gig economy. I think it was already in its infancy before the pandemic, but now that again got accelerated, and a lot of people are looking at shorter tenures, a lot of freelance work. A lot of people are looking to do gig tasks or engagements than traditional full-time employment. What that also means is the work itself is unbundling. Traditionally, if you look at work is not just a place where you earn your livelihood. It's also a place where you feel you are part of a community. You have a sense of purpose. You have a sense of belonging to a community and all of that. But with the last 2 years, the digitization, what has happened is that sense of community has shifted elsewhere. There are a lot of these digital communities, which is probably around common hobbies, sports, all of that. So people have started looking at work again as primarily as a livelihood. It has become it got unbundled, and now it's a livelihood option. But your sense, the community, it could be elsewhere. And what that means is that's also a big catalyst for the gig economy movement. So people are, and organizations are also trying to figure out how to manage a flexible workforce. How can they give tasks to individual vis-a-vis assigning projects to a team? So a lot of that transition is happening, and with that, I believe while there are things which probably will wind back a little as the pandemic and the restrictions of the pandemic is being removed right now. If we will never go back to how it was at the beginning of all of this, so we'll probably if we made progress of from 20% people working remotely to 80%, 90%, we'll probably go back to 40%. So that's what we are seeing also amongst our customers who are building teams or hiring people on on the platform.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I agree with you. It's definitely been a huge change. It took me from the office to, working one job in the office to now I work 3 jobs at home. So, that's
Yeah,
and
that's everyone's story, I believe, and that's a very significant change, which was already in the making, and people are talking about gig economy for, I think, almost a decade before that. But it all of that entire transition got fast tracked in the last 2 years, and I believe it's here to stay, and it's enabled because of technology, and it's also a step forward in the way in which we organize, and in the way in which we derive satisfaction from the work, the work we do.
right. Yeah, exactly. And Talview, I understand Talview is kind of like a one-stop shop for this entire process from of course, resumes to exams to video interviews. So so if you could maybe walk us through the process of using Talview from the beginning to the hiring stage.
Yeah. So one of I would say cornerstone of our and their solutioning approach is how do we help customers enable them to hire in the fastest possible manner. Not because we believe that speed in itself is a great metric. You always need talent like yesterday, but time to hire also has a significant impact on all other key hiring metrics. For example, if you look at quality of hire, the best candidates are available in the market only for 10 days. So if you have a hiring process which is 2 months long, which is the average in many industries, your ability to hire the best candidates are significantly limited. The same way, if you look at candidate experience, we spoke about instant gratification. 6 out of 10 candidates who drop off from the hiring process attribute that to a long drawn hiring process. So your time to hire also has a significant impact on your candidate experience. And obviously, the more time you're spending, your cost is also increasing. So what we have focused at Talview is to ensure that our platform is designed in such a way that we help organizations drive the entire process in the shortest possible time. And that is only possible if it's a single platform, which is modular enough to meet the varied needs of customers. But once the customer puts a candidate at the top of the funnel, we are able to process them through different stages in the process in a seamless fashion, so that at the end of the process, you are in a situation where you're able to make a hire. So a candidate, when they come on board on the platform, we can stack rank their resumes based on their fitment for the role. We can take them through different types of skill, behavioral, cognitive assessments, which are critical for role success. We can also help organize and conduct and derive insights from interviews on the platform. And we can also help organizations to combine all of this together and compare between candidates and make an objective selection of who is the best candidate, and which is also in line with our goal of building a platform which is giving everyone an equal opportunity, because we want every decision taken on the platform when it comes to hiring to be objective. So that's why we've created a platform which is comprehensive and configurable to meet the needs of varied customers.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, it's a great platform. I think it would be incredibly helpful for anyone that uses it. And speaking of people that want to use it, how can we take advantage of Talview? you could please tell the viewers where to find it, how to sign up, or whatever it is that needs to be done to use this platform.
Yeah. We would welcome anyone who is interested in exploring the platform to sign up for a demo on Talview's website. It's talview.com. And one of our customer evangelists will be in touch with you and then walk you through the platform and see if how it's a good fit for your requirement and take you through the rest of the process.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you. So what can we expect to see from Talview in the future?
So we've been making a lot of investment in AI.
Mm-hmm.
And with, again, going back to a mission, we saw that one of the primary challenge in hiring process is objective decision making. As humans, we all have biases, and that's the way we are wired. We can't do anything about it, but we should use technology to enable us or assist us in making more objective decisions. So a lot of investments which you are making on the platform is helping in the employer or the hiring manager to get better insights about the candidate by leveraging the information which is getting generated on the platform. For example, when an interview happens on the platform, we will not just facilitate the interview, but also use a technical psycholinguistics to build a behavioral profile of the candidate, which is, unless you are a trained psychometrician or a very seasoned interviewer, it's very difficult for an interviewer to make an objective judgment of somebody's behavioral fitment for a role. The same way, we are also building feedback loop, AI-driven feedback loop for interviewers on their interviewing technique, because most organizations do not have any formal interview process, and nobody is reviewing their interview techniques or looking at how successful they are or how accurate were their recommendations. So building this feedback loop, which is looking at their interviewing techniques, seeing if they're asking questions which is leading to bias, seeing if they are doing comprehensive evaluation and making a qualified judgment about the candidate's fitment. So we're using AI and capabilities on the platform to ensure that every interview which is happening on the platform is of the best quality, and every decision which is taken on the platform is the most objective and the best decision for everyone involved.
Okay, so is that feedback loop also available for interviewees? Like, if maybe you want to say, like, okay, how do people behave? How do 90% of people behave that get hired? Is that also a thing?
We currently do not have that facility, but that's something which we have been speaking about. So in the future, we probably might open up that feedback also to the candidates, so that they can also better understand themselves, and also we want to assist them to find out what are the roles which are best for them, given their preferences, their personality type. What roles will they be happy and successful at? So that's the way we are looking at it.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much, Sanjoe. It was great to speak with you about Talview. I think it's a great platform, and especially in this day and time, more than ever, it's needed for sure. So thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks, Chris. Really enjoyed the conversation and look forward to speaking with you again.
Absolutely. Come back anytime.